Today we're reviewing a super exciting fat bike, the Kona Woo. The Kona Woo is kind of like the Honzo of fat bikes. It's got sliding dropouts, really short rear end. In fact, it's got the shortest chainstay of any fat bike in the world. And that's why I reached out to Kona to test this, because most fat bikes have super long rear ends. And that's great for snow, but it's not great for trail riding and playing and jumping and wheeling and goofing around. And the Kona Honzos are known for being very playful and very fun. I've been wanting to design my own custom fat bike for a long time, and this is close-ish to what I would want. I'd want a really tucked rear end, pretty slack, and suspension. So this is about the closest I think I'm gonna get without actually having one built. So this has a lot of carryover from the Honzo. I'm really excited to take it out. I made some modifications to it. Up front, I threw a Manitou Mastodon on. This has 120 mil travel, and it raised the front end up significantly. So now it's 2 degrees slacker for 67 degree head angle, which is right about where I want it. Rear tires are 26 by 4.8. Front tires are 27.5 by 4.3. Very similar height. I've also added a dropper. I'm on a size small and the seat tube curves substantially, so I can't insert my dropper lower than here, which is something I would love to see change. So I'd like to see this straighter in the future. It's also got a press fit bottom bracket, which whatever, like you kind of have to do some weird things to make fat bikes work, but I think they still could have done something threaded, but that's okay, it's not a deal breaker. One thing I didn't like, for 1,700 bucks, they had ball and cage headset in there. It's just a small thing that the customer will never know, except for that price, you ought to be getting sealed bearings. That just feels, I don't know, it feels like a lot of money for a low-end headset like that. Everything else is great. It's a 1x1x12 with Dior 12 speed, Shimano brakes front and rear. It just looks like the Honzo version of a fat bike. Let's go take it on the trail and see if she rips or see if she feels absolutely awful. I want to interrupt this video real quick to tell you about these brand new keychains that I just made. They're MTB Party keychains. If everybody watching this video purchased one of these, it would change my family's life. It's a small thing for most people, but it would be massive for us. These keychains are designed by me. They are 3D printed by me. They are shipped out one by one by me, and they're available right now on my website. It's a cool way to show your love for MTB Party. So if you've benefited in any way from this channel, pick up one of these keychains in the link below over on my website. It would mean the world to me. I'm super proud of these. They're cool. And it's a great way to show your love for mountain bikes on your keychain. Boy, these tires are so noisy. Everyone hears you coming, you don't need a bell. I would love to experiment with more tires, but man, changing fat bike tires, especially setting them up tubeless, is a nightmare. So much work. The tires are your suspension and they just swallow the roots. Oh, this thing bunny hops so well like this with the tall front end. I rode it a bit in stock form with the rigid fork, and that's cool for snow and flatter stuff. But this taller stack gives it a really, really playful vibe. Woo! Man, it's like landing on pillows. So cool. Super playful. So easy to pop onto that back wheel. You've got to pick the right PSI, and changing by 1 or 2 PSI makes a huge difference. Since your tires are your suspension, you got to get it right. Oh, that's fun. Now, over forking it like this has raised the stack significantly. So on steep climbs, the front wants to lift a little. Seat angle's good enough. Usually when you lift the front too much, you get a terrible seat angle. BB feels super tall. You feel more on the bike than in the bike. Man, I talk about this all the time. Geometry is everything, and we strive for excellence. If you want to learn about geometry, I've got a whole online e-learning course. It's got over 100 videos explaining geometry and how to get your bike to feel the way you want it to, how to tweak your current bike, and what to look for in your next bike. But this is working for me. Still, I wish it was at least 1 degree slacker, maybe 2, just for a full-on party. I don't know, it's always a balance. It depends on where you live. Like, if it was slacker, it wouldn't be very fun on mellower trails like this, but you could sure push it really hard. You look at the trail totally differently now. Like, I don't have to worry about a single wet route because the pressure's so low, it'll just wrap around and find the dirt around it. So I don't actually slip. And so I can turn my brain off and be lazy on line choice. It's amazing how I can just kind of fly into stuff that I don't know what's on the other side and I know I'll be okay. I honestly believe if everyone got a little bit simpler bikes like this and all your friends had the same thing, you'd have more fun on your bike than running all the latest space age tech on your bike. But if you're the only one on the fat bike in your crew, you are going to get dropped, especially on the climbs, and nobody will understand you. But that's okay, you'll get it. You'll understand why this is so amazing. It doesn't feel as light or quick or zippy as a regular Honzo, but it's totally got its own thing, and it is so fun. Okay, this pleasantly surprised me. It almost feels like this thing was meant to be overforked because it rides really good like this. Still plenty peppy for big tires. I got a big old grin on my face. I actually think fat bikes are great mountain bikes to get someone hooked on the sport. You have so much confidence. You have so much traction. It's so forgiving if you mess up. Granted, most fat bikes don't have geometry that matches that. But something like this would be an amazing bike for someone to get into. So smooth. It's smoother than some of my full suspensions. Yeah, that's just fun. Very BMX-like. The most BMX-like fat bike I've ever ridden. Bravo, Kona. It's too bad we're so influenced by trends because a lot of people will never try something like this. And I think 9 people out of 10 would have a huge grin on their face riding this right now. Man, you can just rail where there's otherwise no traction. Amazing in gravel, mud, sand, snow. What a blast. This was way better than I expected. I thought it was going to be too choppered out. I thought it would lose some of its quick handling that it had before. It rides like a modern hardtail with big old wheels. Now, if you're on pavement, you can kind of get like this cycle and this bob going to it, almost like suspension bob. So if you're on pavement, fat bike obviously isn't the ideal. And if you're buying a fat bike for pavement, I'd love to hear why in the comments below, but this could easily be my only bike, and I would have fun on it everywhere. I'd have fun on this on the whole enchilada. I'd have fun on this on pump tracks. Woo! Oh, that was so fun. You pop off of everything. I think Kona accidentally stumbled upon greatness with this Woo once you throw a big fork on it. Oh, cannot wipe the smile off my face. I also have a theory that fat bikes do far less trail damage. When trails are wet, I think they actually smooth out the ruts that form instead of create big ones. You've got all that weight distributed across 4 or 5 inches across. This is really good. And I'm glad I went with the small. I'm in between small and medium. And I wasn't sure what I'd want on this, but the small kept it playful and maneuverable and just tight. So much fun. So prior to this, my favorite fat bike was the Skookum AF, and that's still a fantastic bike. But this ups the playfulness a few notches with how short that rear end is. It is awesome. I feel like the slower speeds you go, the more those short rear ends help. I don't need the stability of 30 to 40 mile an hour trucking down the trail. And it's nice to feel that wheel right underneath you. Just tucked right underneath. It doesn't feel like it's trailing way behind you. It feels like it's below your heels. So you can kind of place that wheel where you need to. And having a dropper on this thing is a game changer too. It's so good. Well, Kona, I think you've done it. I think you've made my favorite fat bike. And I don't know if you meant for people to over fork it like this, but it sure rides like you did. Wow. I like the taller front end. I'm sitting more upright. Just a relaxed, comfortable riding position, just like I like. This just goes to show that if anyone ever would work with me for my signature fat bike, it would be amazing and people would love it. Let me know in the comments, have you ever ridden a fat bike that you just loved, or was it an awful experience, or have you never ridden one? Let me know. It's actually surprisingly peppy. It sounds draggy with these big old tires just making noise, but it accelerates well. I'm probably a little more tired than if I'm riding my ultralight trail bike, but I'm having more fun than if I were on my racy trail bike. Let's hit some of these ledges. Yeah, man, it's composed. So good. Totally feel like a kid again. Okay, what are the downsides to this? I've kind of been raving about this thing. I think $1,700 is a lot of money for one of these, especially with the lower end headset and stuff. But it does come with a 1x, and it's got the shortest chainstay in the world. And that cannot be overstated, and that's so important for part of the playful nature of this. Downsides, you have to buy a pretty spendy fork and a dropper. I saw a video on YouTube where a dude rode the whole enchilada on a Kona Woo, which is the predecessor to this. And he had so much fun, and I totally get it. On really steep climbs, the front end gets a little light. You really have to sit on the nose of your saddle because I overforked it so much. Oh man, this thing is so good. Steering is really heavy with the big front tire. There's so much grip, it almost feels like your headset's a little too tight. And you kind of have to get used to that for a little bit. Very trialsy. Oh man, those tires just swallow it. Holy cow. That's insane. That's better than on my full suspensions. That was ridiculous. That was so much fun. What a bike. And if you're like me and you focus on the smiles per hour more than the miles per hour, you owe it to yourself to find a Woo in your area and take it for a test ride. It's good with the rigid fork, but it's great with a suspension fork with that taller front end. It just wants to manual and wheelie and bunny hop and make you think that you're an 18-year-old again, which is awesome. It's so hard to find bikes with that special sauce and that special something and that pep that just makes you feel alive when you ride it. And the Kona Woo has done it. And bravo to the engineers who can get a 420mm chainstay on a fat bike where everyone else says it's impossible. If you had a Kona Woo, where would you want to ride it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you need bike consultation advice, you want to pick my brain on the perfect bike for you, or get my opinion on used bikes in your area and if they're worth it or not, or what price to pay, I'm happy to do that over on Patreon. That's part of my bike consultation service. And if you need to learn more about mountain bike geometry and understand why your bike rides the way it does and how to tweak it to make it ride better in certain ways, you owe it to yourself to take my mountain bike geometry course. Thanks for watching, everybody. You guys are amazing. There's a party in the mountains and you're invited.